guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of Tornado Survival Season 11. I believe this is like episode 8 maybe? 7 or 8. And this is definitely 8. And I'm here on the roof with a testificate. For those of you that remember when these were first added and they all had name tag, they were all labeled testificate above the top of them, which was, I'm very glad they were not named that, but at the same time I'm kind of sad that they weren't named that, you know? It was pretty nice to have them. It was kind of a silly thing. It was definitely a very Minecraft thing. But that was changed. So last episode we got this fence up and just a little work on town. It wasn't too terribly exciting. And this episode we're going to take a look at some of the other items that this mod adds to the game that you can craft and their functions. Because I think it's about time for us to build a wind vane and an anemometer to put here in town. We'll probably make a nice weather station for them, but just maybe put them on the roof of our house for now, just so we have something to gauge on what's happening. Of course, we've built the radar. I've showed you the weather item and how that's craftable. And we built the siren and the sensor. You can build the sensor for redstone things, but you saw it, and I don't have any use for any redstone activations at the moment for our tornado shelter opening. That'll be a little bit later. We'll have the sensor, but and the deflector we're not going to build because people say within a 250 block radius, storms will completely dissipate and move around it. So we're not going to build that yet, or probably really ever. But we are going to build the wind vane and the anemometer. We'll start this episode off with that. We'll start with that. These guys just love standing on my bed. It's killing me. I think we'll have enough to do this, so we'll need the usual resources. And they both require lots of weather items. So actually, first off, let's build the anemometer. And the anemometer is used to measure wind speed. There's multiple types. This is going to be the classic anemometer where you have the little cups, and the wind will blow it, and based on how fast it's spinning around in a circle, it'll be able to calculate the actual, the wind speed of that. So we need 6 weather items. We need 6 weather items. So that will be, I think I hear some rain. But I can never tell the difference between rain and wind in this mod. I think that is rain. Because the wind, if you do have trees, it sounds really nice with the wind blowing through the trees, but I can never tell the difference there. So we'll just do this and that, so that should make us 6 of those. And then the anemometer is done like this with a redstone in the middle. Yes, the anemometer. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll place this. Now that it's raining, let's see, what do we have brewing here? There's a shower developing to our east, but there looks like things are moving. Not sure. Southward? What direction is that? Yeah, it is south. So that is the North Sea, the Eastern Desert, the West Plains, the South. Okay. But I'll just place this down on the ground so we can take a look at this. But there it is, the anemometer. These, to put in some of my actual, meteorology stuff, in which some of you don't like, some of you like, but I think it makes the video a little bit unique here. These are considered usually now to be out of date. Sometimes you see the ones where they look like a little needle, and on the front they have a propeller, and you can measure the wind speed that way. It's, the same kind of method for the anemometer, but they're considered to be not particularly accurate anymore, at least with our scale. I mean, of course, they're usually accurate than a couple miles per hour or 5 miles per hour at max, but they're not very good at measuring if there is a sudden gust. They take some time to start spinning up to how fast the wind actually is, and then they take some time to slow down, of course, due to friction. So, I guess it's just the name is slipping right now. I guess they're not ultra. I guess it might be ultrasonic anemometers, but they're pretty high tech machines, and they're little barbs. They're like 3-pronged things that you'll have to look them up, but they're 3-pronged things, and they basically send sound waves across to each other on these little pallets, like on a triangle or a pyramid, and essentially, based on how deviated or how slowed down or speed up the sound is when they hit, they can calculate the wind speed and the direction with the one machine, and it's much more accurate to get very small measurements of wind, and it's much better to last. Because also, imagine if this was blowing, if you had like 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts in a hurricane, or sustained winds, chances are this thing's probably going to get like ripped to shreds when it's spinning around that fast. Or at like 120 or extreme events, these aren't very good at measuring it. But if you get these higher tech ultrasonic ones, anemometers, technology's changing with the meteorology world, where you can get better measurements so that every time a severe storm or a hurricane hits a weather station, we don't end up losing data halfway through because the anemometer broke because it was, that spread up. So the second thing we'll make is the wind vane to pair with that. That tells us speed. The next one will tell us which direction the wind's blowing from, which I'll be curious. We'll actually have to watch it and study it for a little while, because I'll be curious to see if the storm's moving south today, is the wind going to be south? And if that's the case, it'll be really nice to look at the wind vane and be like, okay, it's dark in that direction. We know that the storm is coming our way, which in real life, that usually isn't a good indicator. It's not. Sometimes it's a good indicator. It's sometimes not. So it can't always be a good indicator in the real world, because oftentimes, you'll have the inflow or the outflow of the storm, or you might have the wind at the surface is blowing in one direction, while in the upper levels, or the rest of the atmosphere's mean flow will be different. You saw how to make that, right? 5 weather items in a cross with 2 redstone. And it'll be different. It'll be in across. The mean wind flow in the atmosphere could be from the west, but at the surface it's from the south, so you don't really get a good estimate. So you can see we don't have much wind today, but this is pointing north, and actually these, they point to the compass directions, so this will be nice. Maybe we can put one of these on like all the roofs of the houses, or a weather station or 2 around. So there we go. These are the items we made so far. The only thing we're missing is the sensor and the deflector, which don't have too much of a purpose at the moment. I'm not sure if these will also matter, the wind at the ground versus higher up. I'm not sure if that will make a difference with these. That would be very interesting if he implemented that, but I doubt it. It's probably just in general the wind that it measures. But there's no wind at the moment, and there's nothing but showers. You know what? I might have to change. So the chance of rain is high, so I wonder if the rain chances are overpowering the storm chances every day, or if it's just the rain starts as rain and it just has less of a chance to go into a thunderstorm. So for now, I'm not going to change it. But at least to me at this moment, it looks like we're just getting rain and not thunderstorms. However, it could mean that they're just less likely to turn into thunderstorms. So we'll have to wait and see what this turns out. But we have quite a few storms around, or at least a few rain showers. But sometimes you just have rain showers. Sometimes you just get a storm system and a cold front that comes through, and it just brings showers. It doesn't always bring big severe thunderstorms, or even just thunderstorms in general for that reason. So we'll have to see how that goes. And we have these built. All right, I wanted to show you guys that. Now, I don't know what's next on the list. We have several things we can work on. I think, take a quick look at our achievements. Yeah, kind of messed up with not building 2 of these things that would have allowed us to get lots of other achievements. It might be worth, getting those achievements, I think. But even though we kind of have a different route for this season to go, so I don't really care too much, but I would prefer to still get them. So I'll craft a few things up, and I'll catch myself up on that off screen as best we can. But I think I'm going to cut for now. I'm going to do a little bit of work, maybe on the paths, the entrances to these houses, and line us up to build some gates in and out of town. And, we'll do some terraforming or something, and we'll go from there. Oh, we have a little bit of wind today. Let's see. Real quick before I go. Might have just been like, oh yeah, there's a little bit of wind. Up, and the wind is blowing, the wind is northwest. So another thing to teach is meteorologists always give the wind direction based on the direction that the wind is coming from. So if air is moving from the north to the south, we call that a north wind. So when you look at these, you see it pointing south. Don't say there's a south wind. You have to look at where it's pointing from. That's what actually matters. So you can see right now there's a northeast wind. So a lot of people will get confused of that. And even in the professional world, when I'm doing my forecast or especially if it's for non-meteorologists, I always I'll put like there's going to be an east wind in parentheses blowing to the west, to help give clarification to that to people. But I thought that was worth mentioning. And someone did have a question. Some of you are really good. Some of you just ask really basic weather questions down below. Like someone was asking what EF meant for, and I forgot to explain that in one of the earlier episodes. And someone explained that pretty nicely for them. So I appreciate you answering those questions in the comments for those that know. But someone did ask that, and it stands for Enhanced Fujita. We use the Fujita scale to measure how strong tornadoes are. And several years ago, they decided to enhance it, basically to update it, because it was based on how buildings are damaged, and the building code has changed from when the scale was made to now. Buildings are basically made stronger. So it takes more energy now to completely demolish a house than it did, 50 years ago. So they've just updated that to, better correspond with the wind speeds based on today's building. So that's why there's an E now in front of, like, when there's an F5, it's an EF5 using the newer scale. So if you refer to an old storm, it's still an F. But if it's, something recent, it's got EF. So, all right, let me do some work. I'm done talking, and people will be yelling at me for talking too much, but let me go do some work now. Okay, so I've just been working on these paths, trying to line them up a little bit better, give her some access points in and out of the town. And it's been a while since I've recorded, probably a good 2 weeks, because like I said, I recorded some stuff ahead of time. Well, as you saw in some other videos, that I recorded some stuff ahead of time. I moved to my new apartment. I had family visiting, and yeah, so I just didn't get a lot of time to play, and I still don't have internet to upload this, but it's going to be going up very soon. So I'm just kind of running around doing a little bit of work here. So we're recording the last bit of this episode. The storms have just been non-existent. I'm going to kind of give it one more day, really the rest of this episode, since this episode's already more than halfway over, to see if this has any impact. And if not, next episode I'm going to go back and turn the storm ratio back down to 1 to put it back to its original settings, and we'll just hopefully not get too overwhelmed by all of that. So yeah, I mean, it's starting to get dark. So I haven't gone back and read all of the comments from every single video, but I have read some of them. And I had a few things to just bring up that people had asked me about. I got some upvotes, and I guess I wanted just to respond to them. So first, people were talking about water spouts. So you can get, when we were seeing those storms with all of the debris or all the clouds going into it, that is just a high wind storm. It's not necessarily, that wasn't tropical cyclone. They're different, but those high wind storms can apparently form water spouts. So that's how we can see, weak water spouts form in those high wind storms. So we'll keep a lookout for that. And then after that, people were talking about just kind of the crazy weather that the East Coast had when it went from 60 degrees down to snow, or in some places 70 or 80 degrees and then to snow, and to 20 degrees and record-breaking snowfall. So that definitely did happen in the East Coast of the United States, and it's kind of been a bit of a mess. But are you trying to throw food at each other? They're probably trying to breed, aren't they? Well, that's good. That means we're short on villagers. So I think this area is so lit up. There's still a couple dark spots. Obviously, like here's one right here probably. I needed to run around at night again. And it looks like there's a rain shower or storms or something over there, but it is not showing up on our radar today. So maybe it's just dark clouds. But I do think we need to make some more torches. And I don't know if we have very much coal left. Okay, we do have a little bit. And I need to go cut some more wood down. So we're definitely getting low on supplies. I think we're going to have to make a mining run very soon. Yeah, a mining run, and probably a tree cutting, just general supply run. We go to that desert, or isn't there a jungle we saw nearby? Also want to go take out some of those temples that were hanging out nearby. So we got lots of stuff to light up over here. Lots of stuff. And I missed some more of those picking up. I really want a sandstorm to hit, probably more than I want a thunderstorm, because I want to see if this fence is going to work, or if it's just going to blow right through it, because if that's the case, we might need to make a wall. And then if that's not going to work, then we're kind of stuck out of luck, and I'm just going to get really lazy on cleaning up this kind of stuff. So we'll have to see what's going on. This should probably be pretty decent. I also like to light torches up, like at least 1 or 2 rows of torches on the other side of the fence, because you can get creepers spawning right at the fence. At least if you have some sort of barrier around the outside, it kind of helps a little bit to turn it down. But oh yeah, we haven't lit up any of this. So we lit up the houses and the crop areas, but we didn't actually light up the ground at all. So I'm going to need even more torches than this. But Yeah, I didn't realize. I can't remember because it had been a while since I had played. So how much? Are we almost out of food? I'm gonna have to do some farming, which wouldn't be a bad idea, but I do need to do a bit of that. So let's keep working on this. So I'm thinking about the next tasks we need to do. One thing we can do is build ourselves a basement, and I think that is exactly what we'll do next episode, and maybe start a mining shaft down underground will probably be what we do. So I think that looks like a good plan. So stay tuned for that next episode. But this episode, we're just going to finish a little bit of work around town and see how things go here at night, and keep an eye to the sky. There could be some sort of forecast tool in this, at least telling you if there's like a front coming. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to rain, but in general, is there going to be some sort of storm or not? That would be kind of a nifty addition that you could potentially add. Okay, there is a few showers around, and they do appear to be strengthening, but they both appear to be moving away from us. Yeah, they are, but doesn't mean anything crazy is going to happen. But they're definitely more showers than thunderstorms. Those showers are not going to develop into a thunderstorm. Oh, we got a third one now. And I think that is the issue with having myself turned down. And we have a shower developing overhead right as we speak. So I will see if none of these turn into a thunderstorm, then clearly I need to change those settings, because it's happening again where I don't think we've seen a thunderstorm since I've changed those settings. But I thought maybe I didn't change it. Actually, we can look real quick. Yeah, I turned the rate of storms back down to 1 player a day, but I changed the chance of storms down to medium instead of high, and I think that is what is having the impact. So, all right, now that it's night, we're going to keep running around and seeing where there's dark patches, and we're going to need to probably use the rest of our coal. I'm going to probably use all of it and say forget it, because I'm assuming we'll find some we mine under a house. I'm definitely going to probably make the basement right underneath of this house. Let's see here. Just grab some more of these bad boys. And I'm looking forward to playing some more Sky Factory. I think Skatum has been recording several episodes without my being. So definitely go check out his channel if you want to see more in the short term. But I'll be recording some hopefully soon. And this is not good. We have a zombie that has coming in the village. He probably spawned in this dark area over here when we went to get more torches. So this is not good, because that will, in a matter of 5 minutes, one night, the entire village could be completely infested, and that will not do us any good at all. So I'm going to light this up down here, and I might as well pick these up. All right. Well, give me ideas for things to build in the village. So I'm definitely going to be changing this setting for next episode. We're going to start building the basement next episode. And I do have a few more things to share with you guys. But comment down below what we're going to build. I know we need to build like a watchtower for the weather to see tornadoes in the distance. That'll also be something that's going to be put on the list very soon as well. Now let's find out the last of these dark spots. And this will be like the boring part, which was paths and access to the doors. Of course, we need to make the paths, fence gate worthy, which I guess we can probably cut the rest of this one over here, because I imagine this is exactly where this one is going to go. So we'll go ahead and cut this one in over here. And whoops. No, I gotta wait for that to grow back. Yeah, so if we can get, this is pretty decent. Oh, spider's coming for me. Though I don't think we have very much string, so this could be useful. Oh, we got a zombie villager over there, but you are not from the village, and you will not be let in the village. You are infected. You are quarantined on the other side of that fence. All right. So this is doing pretty decent. Don't see very many dark spots. A little bit over here in the corner. Probably one in the middle. Oops, some dark spots here. Alright, well this is doing pretty darn good. I think this is more than adequate, but again, we'll need a little bit of a buffer zone outside of it, because now that they can't spawn in here, they are going to spawn like crazy outside. So that should be pretty decent. And we have some peaceful Minecraft music starting, and that's probably the signal that we should go head on into bed. So I'm going to run back. I'm a little paranoid, but well, here, we probably don't need, I'm going to move this torch just over here a little bit more. So this isn't horrible. Probably don't need that torch, but we will want that there. Okay, we're gonna run away from that and go sleep. We got a few dark spots, but this is, you know, when there's so few blocks to spawn, they're just not gonna spawn at a very high rate. It'll be a rarity, but if we start seeing things other than spiders spawning inside of here, we'll have to run around. I think a few of the roofs are still dark, but that won't be that bad. And that radar is just boring. Man, oh man, and I put you guys through enough episodes of no action. But, so we're going to change this to back to high. We'll save and close that. I'm going to sleep with the testificates. And I think I'm going to go play a little bit more Legend of Zelda. That game, I have been greatly enjoying it. I spent, so today is my day off. And I hadn't played like much at all this whole week, and I was feeling, you know, lazy. I did my run, and I came back, and I was like, you know what I'm doing today? All I'm going to do today is play Tornado Survival and Zelda, because I did my move. So I literally logged like 5 hours of Zelda gameplay today, and I don't think I advanced the main story at all. All I do is run around the woods, fight occasional mini bosses in little areas, and I just ride horses, and I'm getting Korok seeds. I love finding those. And but now I think I'm ready to go explore another region, another town, climb another tower, and do some fun stuff. So next episode, a handful of things are going to go on. We're going to build a basement. I'm going to share a story of my worst weather event, and ask a question in the comments, and let me know what else you want to build down below. We'll have mining and a watchtower in the future as well, but we'll hopefully see a storm. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.